everyone, welcome to the Rejected Again podcast, where we have a good old catch-up and try to find a silver lining in our rejections. Each week we will centre our chats around a theme, and this week the theme is beginnings, considering this is our first episode. I am Georgie, and I'm here with Heather and Laura.
Hi!
How are you guys? How has your week been?
Yeah, to be fair, this week's been alright, but one quite devastating story does stick out to me.
Oh.
So just to add a little bit of context, my class teacher has been out of the class for the last 4 months, so I've been leading, obviously with the support of the amazing team that I have, but I have been putting a lot of work in and putting my heart and soul into it, not gonna lie. But on Monday this week, we had a new member of staff join just to get to know the children, that sort of thing. The children seemed to quite like them. Let's call this person Chris, not their name. The children seemed to quite like them, and I thought, cool. They were only in the class for like 45 minutes, whatever. But at lunchtime, whilst I'm also serving lunch, whatever, helping the children however I can, one of the children comes up to me and goes, Heather, I think I'd like a new teacher. I want Chris. And so I think in that moment, I just felt like those 4 months of really hard work had paid off. I felt so appreciated, and I felt great about myself.
Oh no!
No.
Oh, that's really sad. That's unfortunate. Oh.
That's horrible.
Had to laugh it off, or else you'll cry. Thinking, thank you, children. You really appreciate all the effort I put in.
Oh.
You meet a guy for 30 minutes, and you already want to replace me.
And you've been like coming home from work so tired every day.
I've been shattered. Yeah.
But
yeah, the brutality and the honesty of children is unforgiving.
that's because the new guy's come in with energy and hasn't had to put as much work in for you as recently. So, you know, the children are seeing someone that's not been there through everything.
So you're saying I'm tired and I am
Haggard.
No, that's
haggard,
not what I
that's
meant.
what you're saying. I'm haggard.
You said it first, but that's not quite what I meant.
And the children can see it. They take note of it and they go, you're not up to the job, Heather. You're not up to the standard that we need.
No, they're saying it in the nicest way, that they think you deserve a holiday because you put so much effort in, so this guy could come in and do his temporary job. Like, that's
yeah,
why
I'm going to take it as that.
Yeah.
Or else
Yeah.
I'll break down and cry.
Yeah.
So I'll take it.
Yeah.
Laura, any stories, or has you been a week been all right? Have you had any success stories? We can flip it on its head if we need to.
Yes, it's been alright. I mean, well, I guess we can flip it on its head. I thought I'd been rejected for a job that I applied for like 4 months ago, and they
What
just
do you
came
mean?
back to me. Well, I thought like I didn't hear back from a job I'd applied for like 4 months, and now all of a sudden they came back to me and they were like, "Do you want an interview?" So
Well, they kept you waiting.
Yeah.
they did. They built up the excitement.
And
Um,
did you? I swear
Kept you
you
in
said.
suspense.
the
I also
suspense
swear you
was
said
fun.
you on the system. They also had to reject you though.
They've they've rejected me twice on the system because they keep having to shut the system down and then like re-upload me. So I've
That's
got
ridiculous.
2 emails saying, "Hey, we're really sorry. We don't want to take you on at this time." And
That's
the first time
really
it happened,
harsh.
no one told me it was going to happen.
Oh.
So I like emailed the person and I was like, "You literally just asked me yesterday if I was still interested. Has it changed? Like, do you not want me anymore?" And she was like, "Oh, I didn't know that happened."
I think that's
So-
when all of your anxieties and like worst fears you think have come true, where they offer you the potential to interview and then they rethink and go, "Oh dear, no."
They're like, "Oh yeah, I didn't realise it was her."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But no. So it's yeah. I guess I've had a bit of a roller coaster in terms of rejection.
Well,
But it's ended on a
hope for the
high.
best.
I still have the interview.
Yay!
And it
They're
may
good
be
for the
rejection
interview.
next week. Who knows?
Hope for the best and good luck for the interview at least. I hope.
Yeah, thank you. What about you, Georgie?
My week's been fine. I think the only thing like related to rejection I could say is I think my iPad has finally dead/dying and rejected me. I picked it up the other morning and it works fine, but there's obviously something pretty wrong with it because the screen is constantly flickering and there's a little flicker strip right across the front. So it's almost like I dropped it weirdly or I stepped on it and, you kept like a mark across the screen. So it's not too bad. Like, I can still use it, and it's a very old iPad anyway.
How old is it?
Don't know, how old am I?
How old are you? What, you got it when you were
Yeah.
born? You got it on
Obviously.
as soon as you came out of the womb, they went, here is the first generation iPad.
Oh, yeah,
Birthday
definitely.
present.
I think it's almost 10, it's like 8 to 10 years old, so it's pretty old.
Wow.
My
You are not 8 to 10 years old, but that is quite old.
So glad that was specified, yeah.
You are
definitely
a lot older than that.
Gee,
A
rude.
lot, not that much. It's not like
Over
she's
double.
50.
Gosh,
Yeah,
so
but
tell me we're
over
gonna bring up
double.
that spinsters conversation again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, bless him, bless your dad.
But no, so it's an old iPad, but it's so where I can I tend to only really use it to read on these days anyway. But
Yeah.
I don't want it. Well, it uses a lot more power than it used to because of the error on the screen. So I don't want it to well, it won't explode, but I don't want it to overheat or anything. So I will stop using it soon, and I'm looking for a replacement, as you know. So yeah.
Do you have a
But
Kindle?
I was just going
No.
to say, do you not have a Kindle?
no, because I don't have that.
She's
No,
like,
I
no,
just
don't even say that
I
word to
don't
me.
really want to.
No.
I don't
No,
really want to.
because I
don't
don't
want
have
one.
that.
I don't.
I did have one. Literally, about 10 years ago I had one. No idea where it is now. No
Really?
idea.
But the thing is, my iPad, because it's so old, I can't use it for anything else. I'm basically looking on the internet. Like, all the other apps do not work on it now anyway.
Oh,
So even
right.
if I wanted to do a bit of work or use Word or Excel or anything on it, I couldn't use it because it won't.
well
allow
done
me
you.
to
Really?
do it.
Perseverance with that.
Well, I only really use it for reading and looking stuff up online anyway. So in that case,
Yeah.
Do you
I
read
don't
comics
need
on it?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So I don't need it for anything else. So it's now that it is dying, so I'm gonna look for something
Yeah.
that will actually handle Word and such. So
Yeah. What comics do you read?
Range of things, whether it's sometimes literally anything from DC stuff to Marvel stuff to. I don't always read them very often. I like the DC Batman stuff because they're trying to. That's quite entertaining.
Do you have any physical copies?
No, I always consider getting them, but there's so many of them. I don't really.
Where
want
would
to
you
start
Where
going
would you
down that
get
route.
them? Is there many shops in the UK? that
Second-hand
sell
stores.
them?
There's a shop in Cardiff that's just comics, but
been
they're
around that does it.
expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're
Especially the old
collector
original
items,
stuff.
aren't they?
So the Spider-Man ones, I quite like them, but I always get I stop reading and I'm like, hold on, where does this fit chronologically? Because there's technically 3 different Spider-Man, at least 3 different.
Yeah.
There's so many different parallel universes. It's really hard to keep up. So
I was recently rewatching the Spider-Man because I just felt I just wanted to watch Tom Holland, and so I watched but I watched it in a really weird order. It's because it just came on Prime, the newest one, No Way Home, and so I watched that, and then I was like, I really want to watch all of them. So then I got Netflix to watch the first one, and then I realised I can't watch the second one because it's not on Netflix, or it's not on the Netflix that I have. So I've watched the third one and then the first one, and then now I'm stuck. They're
That's
great
unfortunate.
films. Oh my gosh, they're fantastic. And I also was like almost crying in the third one.
Although it's so sad because Marvel has really gone downhill, isn't it?
It really has. They've gone over the top, I think. They've got too many that people are just like, you need to have watched all the other ones, like, to be able to understand what's going on. And, like, if you miss one, like, and they're coming out every, 4 months or so, you've lost it, let alone all the series as well. There's too much.
I think they've also really just changed the way they've done it, because originally... They started with only a small core group of characters, and they did. All of them had a solo film, which gave you the backstory to all of them, and then they each had like a second film, and then they came together, and then they did another third film for most of them, and then they came together. Like, it really was building the story, and you could tell it was all leading up to Thanos and that sort of stuff. Whereas now, it just seems to be loads of individual ones introducing completely new characters who you don't care about and you don't learn enough about.
Then I lost a lot of respect for them at what was it, Thor Love and Thunder?
Oh my God.
I lost so much respect because
to be honest,
it was
after
like
Endgame I kind of stopped watching anyway because
I know No Way Home came after that.
Okay, yes,
no, but I feel like that's slightly different.
Black Widow's film, I like that.
Black Widow was really good.
Yeah.
But Thor Love and Thunder, like I almost saw it as like insulting to the rest of the franchise.
Yeah, it was.
Because they just took it so unseriously.
Yeah. But not in the best way, because I thought Thor Ragnarok was able to...
brilliant.
Was really comedic, great. But in the really right way.
Everyone loves comedy. Because we love, what's the one with Chris Pratt?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
That's funny. They do
the
that.
The first two are fine. Yeah.
But I haven't seen a third one.
No, I haven't seen it. That's why I can't specify whether that's good or not.
No, I haven't seen the third one either, actually. But, from what we know, they've done comedy okay. Yeah. And like you say, Thor Ragnarok was funny. But that was just, really childish. I felt like I was watching a Disney movie.
Just to give the listeners some context, all three of us watched it together on Galentine's. Yes. And it was a really great day. Yeah, during COVID. It was great. Not a great film, but a great time to watch a film together and kind of rip it apart. It was a great time.
We kept wondering why we were watching it and are we actually watching the right thing? And then we all suggested at different points, shall we stop it? And we're like, no, we'll try and hold on. And
I remember we all went to the loo at one point, I think, and we came back and I for sure thought we weren't going to carry on.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we kept playing it in the background. And then we all came back going, wait, is anyone actually still really watching it? But even if you missed 20 minutes, you didn't miss anything in terms of the plot-wise, because there wasn't much of one. I feel like, as you say, Heather, they had a small core group previously, and they really focused on their almost personal development throughout their stories, and they had a really solid storyline, which was good. But now they're just trying to get as many people as they can, in it. It's just too many people that they then just throw off or kill off, that it's just it's not relevant, and it's too much, really. It's almost like having sitcoms and spin-offs of shows that nobody ever gets around to watching, really.
Did you ever watch what was the massive group one? What was the massive group one where it had Angelina Jolie, had loads of stars in, but it genuinely
wasn't it?
The Eternals. It just felt like they were throwing all the actors at it, and it was
I watched 10 minutes of that, and then I thought it was to me it was on Disney Channel, Descendants.
Yeah.
Descendants. That's what I thought I was watching.
It was.
I honestly watched it to the end, and I could not tell you the plot. I don't know what happened, and I've never seen them come back to anything in the MCU.
The only thing I cannot wait is for the next Spider-Man, because I just want to see what happens, because they've obviously all forgotten about him. I really want to know what happens next. That's kind of the only area. No, I care about Tom Holland. Also Loki.
I am quite
excited.
I do want to see him come back.
I also want to answer the question, is Wanda truly dead? Because I love her. I think everyone I really enjoyed her character.
I don't know how
her character was destroyed in the Doctor Strange, though. Her character the whole WandaVision series gave her such an insight into her character, into the way she thought, the decision makings, and it was all destroyed in the Doctor Strange. Like,
it doesn't seem like they're connecting it all up anything. Yeah.
No, and that's the thing. I don't think the director of the Doctor Strange had watched WandaVision. I genuinely don't think they had.
And that's why you question, like, do the series match up with the films, and they don't always match up, and therefore you wonder, like, if someone's, like, not got the ultimate decision, then it doesn't sync up, and that's the issue. There's plot holes everywhere. So.
There should be one person who has, like, the whole map in front of them.
Which I think is Kevin Feige, though. I think that is his
job.
They
try
but
to,
it's
but
clearly
it's just
not
too much.
particularly...
They've got too much going on, that's why.
Yeah, they have.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you keep track of it all?
Yeah, it's all a bit silly.
It's money making. I just think it all feels very not corporate. What's the other word? Commercialised.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. The only person, I don't know if you heard, Laura, Spider-Man, I want to know what happens, because they've all forgotten about him. He's my baby. I want to know what happens with him. And Loki. We love Loki.
Yeah.
Loki and Spider-Man. I'm rooting for you.
Yeah.
But then, also I am thinking, though, if Loki comes back into the film Marvel Universe, I don't know if he'll bring any of the Loki series characters, and I think
he will. That's the only way he will survive. Like, I think that's the only way he's technically alive.
I hope they do.
I hope.
Because Owen Wilson was great.
He was in it. He's cool, so, you know.
He was so good. He was so good. What was he called? Morbius? Did he?
Morpheus, I think.
Loki.
Morpheus is the guy God of Dreams, so that would make sense.
Mobius.
Oh, close enough. Mobius, yeah.
Because I did want to get him mixed up with... Who does Aaron Taylor Johnson play? Is he playing, like... He's playing a... Or no, I'm getting him confused. He's playing Craven the Hunter. That's already come out, is it? Oh, okay, well, I've not seen anything on that, then. I've not seen it. Oh, it came out 12th of December 2024 in Canada. What? I think that's part of the Venom universe, is it? I'm not sure.
Oh, I don't know. There's too many.
There is too many. No, I was getting confused with... that's Morbius. Yeah, I didn't want to get him mixed up, because that was the Jared Leto weird vampire film that was not well received. Also, did you ever... I never saw it. The Madam Web. That car crash.
No. I heard it, but I haven't seen it.
No, I have no desire.
What was it called? Sorry?
Madam Web.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that it was bad, but I've not seen it.
Yeah. Goodness. Okay.
Cool. So, as our topic's beginnings, I thought we'd start off some discussion, and I looked up some things that effectively started and tried to be something, but just never really took off or rejected effectively.
Mm-hmm.
So I first got some items, and then I've got some people that took like a long time, and so almost an inspiration story.
Mm-hmm.
To see how perseverance hold off. And then last things are like things that were successful, but unfortunately then over time got rejected. So
Okay.
yeah. So the first item which I found, which I think is quite entertaining, is actually the DeLorean, like the car. So hold on, let me get the exact name of it before I get quoted wrong.
Are you Googling it, Heather?
Yeah, because I want to see what it looks like, because I know what it is.
Yeah, I also got that idea. DeLorean.
You know what the DeLorean looks like.
Yeah, but I also like to have a visual. As you tell it to me,
no
don't
idea.
tell me you don't know what the
See
DeLorean is. The
don't
DeLorean, the
know.
DMC DeLorean.
What, from
I
Back to the
thought it was
Future?
I thought it was a
Exactly.
Star Wars character.
Oh
No.
dear.
Oh my
Mandalorian.
gosh.
Oh dear.
Oh my gosh. No.
No, I do know what the DeLorean is.
You thought
was
the
gonna say.
Mandalorian
You thought
was a...
The DeLorean. Mandalorian
You are
DeLorean.
not
is-
coming across well in this episode, Lauren.
It was a DeLorean, so it's a very well-known car, like now, but at the time it absolutely failed. It did not sell at all, and I think the guy went bust, I think, because of it. So it didn't sell very well at all, and just it was quite a different car from the times and such. But of course now everyone kind of knows it because it's in Back to the Future. It's such a classic film. So I think that's just kind of an interesting start, basically.
Yeah. It is very cool. Like, it is probably the coolest looking car.
Do you think?
Yeah, like it does look very future-like, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No,
that's why they
I
used
think
it.
besides the doors, it doesn't.
I think it does.
It
Well, I
looks
think
quite
it looks... I think it looks like old futuristic.
Yes, which is, I think, also, I guess, some part of that idea, because everyone kind of knows it for Back to the Future, you have that vision with it, with being old but futuristic-esque anyway, so...
It looks like what people back in the day thought the future would look like.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I like that aesthetic.
But yeah, I don't think there's a few of them around now. I mean, I've seen one in person, they're quite cool, so...
Do you know, what was the point of the doors opening like that? Was it just to look cool?
Probably. Something different, I think. Yeah, just something different, and it didn't quite work out. It was just at the wrong time. Like...
Do you want a fun fact about
Sure.
John DeLorean, who
Yeah.
I believe was the creator? In October 1982, DeLorean was charged with cocaine trafficking after an FBI informant solicited him as a financer in a scheme to sell 100 kilograms of cocaine worth approximately 24 million.
Goodness me.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay.
Fun
That's
time,
pretty
Bella.
intense.
Yeah.
Yikes. First.
What, how much again?
What, cocaine? 100
100
kilograms. Worth
That's
24
an
million.
insane amount.
That is
That
a lot.
is a lot of cocaine.
How do you even get your hands on that much cocaine?
Well,
Well, we
I
could carry it, but-
probably wouldn't think that he would. I think he's probably just... Like, I can't imagine he's carrying it.
No, but I just mean like that's an insane amount for like any organisation, person, anything to have.
Or maybe we're just naive, Laura. Maybe that is quite easy.
Yeah. Maybe that's only 100 people's worth.
What
I
is
mean,
it?
it still seems a
I
lot.
am so bad at visioning. I need to see 100 kilograms is 15 and a half stone.
What is a bag of sugar?
About a kilo.
What's a key? Yeah.
Kilo's about back.
So 100 bags of sugar.
So 100 bags of sugar. That's
Yeah.
insane. Imagine that sugar is cocaine. Wow.
Sure.
Mm,
Wow.
goodness.
There we go. So
So, yeah.
DeLorean, he was rejected, but maybe he should have been.
It was just too
If
ahead
he
of
was
his
going
time.
to do that with his... Well, maybe he should have been rejected if he was going to do that with his money.
Yeah,
Mm.
it didn't sell very well anyway, so there's that. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
But hey, so yeah, that's one thing, but you know, it's now well known. The next thing I have on the list is what I think is quite a funny concept, but it makes sense why it is really not really a thing. I mean, it's a flying tank.
Flying tank?
Yeah, I'm just sending you a picture. So literally, it's like an old World War II plane, or a plane with like double wings on it, with a tank strapped to the bottom. And the idea would be that they would be able to fly it in, drop it off, and then the tank could be used. But of course, it's not exactly an easy thing for it to actually work. I think the idea was that they had also had parachutes as well to like help glide it to the floor. But
That's insane.
it didn't obviously exactly work. So
That's so stupid. Tanks are like the heaviest thing.
I know, but like,
and also not very aerodynamic.
This is something you would think a child would come up with. Not
it looks like a child's drawing.
Yeah.
The one and only test flight that they did in 1943, unsurprisingly, caused the plane to crash because the tank was too heavy.
Really? Whoa.
Or it almost crashed. It had to drop the tank because otherwise the whole plane, the plane glider was going to crash. So, yeah, didn't work.
I would love to imagine, like, the scenario, the meeting where they come up with this. Where this, like, one guy is like, you know what, guys, let's combine the tank and the aeroplane. Let's go, bam, put them together. And there must have been, I would hope, at least one person in that room thinking, what?
What?
Are you joking?
I mean, it's like,
I think
ideally the idea kind of makes sense because it means you can get a tank in a remote place. But I do agree the way they went about it didn't work.
I think they would have assumed that maybe there would be a redesign of the tank to make it aerodynamic and also a tank. But no, it was just stick wings on a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
And I would love the scientists being like, guys, it's not going to work. And then the other guys be like, yeah, it will. Let's try it. Let's fly that plane. And then they're like, no, it's not going to work.
Honestly.
Goodness. But I did look up flying tank on the internet, and the first thing that comes up is a video game.
Oh, wow. At least it created that. At least it has.
£15 on Steam.
Wow. Oh, wait.
Yeah. Wow. There we go.
Yeah. So the next thing is this thing called New Coke. So Coca-Cola has obviously their classic recipe and everyone knows it. But they decided at one point to try and change it into this New Coke, and they literally called it New Coke. And nobody wanted it. They preferred the old one. Did not work at all, and they had to bring back the original classic version back a few months later. So it was like just like they're like, oh, I tried it, didn't work.
What was the flavour? Was it like completely different?
I couldn't tell. I think it was something about the sugar quantities. Hold on, I'm just looking it up. I didn't do a huge amount of research as I did last time.
Join the club. Join the club.
Doesn't say what they changed about it, but literally they just changed it, and then the general public decided, no, why did you do this? We don't like this anymore. We don't like this. Bring the original back. So they did.
Fair.
So some things just don't work out. People just don't like it. Even though they did do a test run, and some people like that. This time around, no.
When was this?
1995.
Oh, okay. So quite recent.
I'm not saying the right year at all. 1985. 1985. I said the wrong year. It's 1985.
Do you think if they brought it back, say like this year, do you think it would perform any differently?
No clue.
Would you try it?
I don't really like Coke largely anyway, so I probably
No,
wouldn't
neither
like
do I. my brother and my mum do. They are massive Coca-Cola drinkers. So I think like my brother is someone who would definitely try something like that. Try something at least once.
This is really random, and I don't know why it's reminded me of that, but a lady that I know told me that her grandmother used to have an allotment and would have an excess of turnips and would cook the turnips up and then put them in sugar syrup and pretend it was like canned fruit.
Okay.
And like give it to people for dessert.
Oh.
And apparently it was really gross. And I don't know why, but a new Coca-Cola recipe it gave me that kind of vibe. Where you serve up something weird.
Did this woman do it
like,
because she liked the people, or did she like want to prank everyone?
No, she just had too many turnips.
And she just thought, phew.
She didn't know what to do with them. So she just put them in sugar syrup.
Wow. She had too much time.
Yeah. This was like back in the day. And I think she was older by then. So I think,
That's
she was
how
coming
she
up with
amused
creative
herself.
ideas. Creative ideas of it.
I love the idea that this wasn't an innocent thing. This is her going like, I'm going to make people a dessert that tastes disgusting.
I cannot
Just her sneaky
imagine
little allotment.
what it would taste like.
People think I have too much turnips and I don't know what to do with them. But I grew these turnips purposely for these pranks.
Just getting out the most sickly sweet syrup, pouring it on, being like, yum, this is a plum.
Yeah, here you go, guys. Enjoy. Oh, it's terrible.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I cannot believe it.
Oh, goodness. Any other inventions that failed or rejected, Georgia?
Yeah, the last item that I've got, which I think could have been really cool, but it just didn't really happen, was the Google Glass. So it can basically project basically a smart glass. So I believe it's like how you phone and can do stuff onto your seat.
Can other people see it though?
No, so it's just a tiny little thing that gets glasses in front of your eye. I'm sure there's an example basically seen in Star Trek somewhere that has something very similar.
I was going to say I feel familiarity with that.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's Star Trek or Star Wars. I think Star Trek.
Star Trek, definitely Star Trek. Yeah.
Yeah, most likely Star Trek. Yeah. So basically, like Google Maps kind of thing, so you can see exactly in the eye just which way direction to go, which could have been really cool. But the prototypes in the first original sale was ridiculously expensive for the things. It didn't have a good marketing plan, so it didn't show the public exactly what it could do, and it didn't really last very long, I think.
I remember it coming out and thinking it looked really cool.
Same, but it never kicked off.
No, and then I remember being shocked that there was zero hype. Everyone was just like, Faz, even though it was revolutionary. And now, I know it's not the same, but Apple have come out with something in the same ilk, Apple Vision.
Yeah.
And there was mass hype over that.
Agreed. I think it was almost a bit ahead of its time, and the marketing wasn't enough. So, compared to the price of the product, people couldn't get it as easily as they could. So it just didn't work.
How much was it? Do you know?
The original prototype, original version was $1,500.
Which isn't that much. I think considering
it isn't, but
it was for then back in 2013.
Yeah.
That was
How much is the Apple Vision?
Because is that still a popular thing, or is that not a popular thing? 3,800.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Apple's way more.
I feel like tech's gone up since COVID prices, so it's something I don't know.
Yeah.
But
is
still,
Apple Vision Pro, is that a popular thing still? Because they look awful, I think.
I don't see it
so.
anymore. But people were crossing the road in New York with them on and stuff.
Really?
Because they're so
Yeah.
chunky. It's literally like a ski mask.
Or it's essentially like VR. But like
But
with a
who
few
needs
trimmings.
that in their day-to-day life?
Well, the only thing I did like about it is that you could gamify your hoovering. So you have like lots of little coins.
That's really quite
you can
fun.
collect all the
Silly.
coins.
No.
Yeah.
Honestly. But yeah, the Google Glass was much smaller, so it wouldn't take up much of your vision, so you could still do things, but like Apple, I think. But
I feel like
still,
that
it just didn't kick off.
Google Glass looks more like a Bond gadget as well. Like, I think that
It looks
really
like
cool.
what you've, like, as we were saying older with the Back to the Future and the DeLorean, what you've, like, older times thought the future would look like. I feel like that's that kind of style, which again
And
fits
it
in with the
just
Star
is-
Trek. So
It's such a cool style. Maybe that's why me and you love it, Georgie. Maybe it's the Star Trek in us.
yeah,
It's
because
like-
Star Trek's brilliant. I love
Yeah.
Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's so funny.
so that's the last item I have that was tried to be a beginning things and just didn't. The next thing, almost like inspirational things, which I think is kind of interesting, is like people that have tried again effectively, but then never really just took a long time to actually become something and be well known.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people that people didn't read about these stories, like, so it's not loads, but like one that's interesting, which I found was like Beethoven, who was deaf, so he, you know, even though he's well known now, at the time he was deaf, so he like was deaf or had strong hearing loss, so actually trying to compose all these famous pieces of music that we now know, it took him a long time to actually do that, which I think is quite impressive, really.
It's very impressive.
The other
And now he's
people-
renowned as like one of the best of all time.
Yeah, exactly, for classical music, so he's like well known, which is quite cool.
Yeah.
There's then, of course, Van Gogh, who only actually sold one painting when he was still alive, but now, of course, he's very well known and very famous, and his works are obviously renowned, effectively. And the other one, the more recent one, Stephen King, who was rejected 30 times from publishers before he was able to publish his novels. So, you know, that's still quite cool.
Wow.
But yeah.
That's very cool. There was an episode of what was it called? The spin-off to Doctor Who. Sarah Jane Adventures.
Oh, I love that.
Or it might have been Doctor Who. It was one of the two where they went and visited.
Yes, it
Van
was
Gogh,
Doctor Who.
yeah.
I think it was Matt Smith.
Doctor Who. Yes, yeah. And then they told him, they were like, your paintings are like everywhere in the world. And he died happy. Oh, I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah. That was a good episode. It was one of
The
two
actor
episodes I remember.
looked like Van Gogh.
It was really good, yeah. Yeah. It made me like empathise, because I was like, how lovely would that have been to like know before you died that even if you didn't get the success in your lifetime, like it was going to be good. Because I feel like that's really sad that a lot of artists never saw any of their success.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's part of it, is like when they're discovered, they're even more magical because they know that there's not going to be any more because they're gone.
Yeah, true.
But yeah.
They're limited, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The last category that I have for this, which I think I've only got 2 items, but they're 2 things that were successful for quite a while, but are now no longer a thing. So the first one I have, see if you remember it, is Little Chef.
Yes, I do.
He used to be so many service stations that had a Little Chef. They were like these little restaurants that were there, and you
Were
could
they
get decent-ish meal.
Were they linked to Travelodge or something?
Possibly, I don't know.
I
But
feel like I used to always go to Travelodge, and I feel like maybe Little Chef were at Travelodges.
I think they were just... I don't know. I just remember them being like the roadside service station restaurant, really. That like if you're traveling
Yeah.
somewhere and you're like, I need food, you know, you're gonna get a small meal there. I know my parents always used to say, oh yeah, look, I would stop at a Little Chef, and they used to go often. Well, when they were traveling and needed it, you know. But yeah, and the other one, of course, bit more well known, is Vine. Vine.
Vine.
Vine! I thought you were saying fine. I was like, is she making a joke that, like, we haven't had a fine? Like, no, Vine. Yes. Yeah, Vine.
I know how you two like Vines, you know.
Yeah,
Vines was great.
we do.
Oh, me and Heather back in the day, we'd sit and watch Vine compilations. And we would just
Shout them
absolutely,
out in the middle of the house.
honestly, we'd spend whole evenings practicing.
You would. And I would come down and like walk past and you guys just shouting these Vines out going.
She'd be like, country girl.
Yeah,
That's why we thought when COVID did happen, and if we did still live together, we would have gone crazy on TikTok. We would have been making so many short videos.
We really would have. We would have
We
been
probably would have. It would have been hilarious.
minted by now.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Gosh. Good times.
Yeah.
Good times.
Cool. So the final little thing to end is a brief debate about if you had to choose something that you could rediscover for the first time, so something new, new beginning, what would it be? And the three options are like exploring the land, the sea, or space. And if you had to choose one, which one would it be? And well, we'd then have a vote on who we agree like effectively should therefore be, I guess, rejected from our memory, and we get to explore it again. Whoever has the best argument.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys had to choose something, what would it be?
Definitely space.
How about
100%.
you, Georgie?
I don't know. I did think sea earlier, but now I think considering how much the land is to explore, I would really like to explore like the land, almost like, but specifically, like ancient structures. So like ancient Greek stuff, or even stuff like some of the Chinese stuff, like the Great Wall of China. Going to explore around there, that would be really cool to do for the first time.
That would be so cool. Yeah.
That would be my preference. What about you, Heather?
Well, I don't want to discover the sea because it scares me. There's still so much we haven't discovered yet.
I was just going to say, have we even discovered the sea? I feel like
I don't think so. There's so much we haven't seen.
A tiny percentage. And I'm happy with that. I don't feel like I need to discover any more of the sea. You know? I think we know enough. Oh, Laura.
I mean, it would still be cool to see if there's anything left. Like, I feel like the idea of like
You want to
if
know about
Atlantis
Loch Ness?
existed. Oh, yeah, that too. No, like Atlantis did exist, and finding that kind of thing would be very cool. But the actual chances of finding that don't really happen.
It would be
Not
really
a
cool
thing.
to see Atlantis.
So you know,
I really love that.
Maybe I'd want to be there for like the rediscovery of something, because I always find like paleontology or like archaeologists, I think that's a really cool profession, and I always think how amazing it must feel to rediscover some stuff. You know, like imagine you're digging in a site hoping something's there, and then you find it. So like us, obviously, where we went to university, seeing Richard III. Wouldn't that be insane to discover him in the car park? I think that would be amazing to rediscover and be a part of that. I think it'd be really cool.
That would be amazing.
I kind of get your point. I guess that's similar to like, to rediscover it rather than to find it, like to be there as it was. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. But then again, I kind of like old stuff almost like that, so it's like really interesting to like see the history of the world and see how much different it is. It's very interesting.
Like,
I think as well, like the Egyptian pyramids and stuff.
Yeah, it'd be insane.
When they were going through there, just, I mean, how incredible, how insane to see that.
Yeah.
See, some of the tombs are so hidden, you just discover them for this like crazy. Like Tutankhamun, finding that was a big thing. That would be like crazy cool.
Or like, it's just made me think, wouldn't it be insane to be there when they solved the Enigma code? Like being there when they solved, and they basically helped end the war. Like, that would be insane.
It'd be crazy.
To be in that
I do
room.
love that, like,
that would be so cool.
But that's really difficult because the Enigma code was something like they couldn't talk about at all.
Yeah.
And they had to be it was really difficult for them. Like, they couldn't, if they knew an attack was happening, they couldn't talk necessarily.
They couldn't
stop all the attack because otherwise they would reveal that they knew how to break the machine. And like, they had to be there, like, just give the information off to like whoever it was.
They had to kind of take the emotion out of it.
Strategically,
that's crazy.
Which is crazy.
But I think,
But then that was one of the starts of, like, modern computers and, like, some of the first designs. And the fact that it wasn't until, like, how many decades later that they then revealed about this.
I haven't been to... Is it at Bletchley?
Really.
I haven't been.
It's really worth going.
Want to go.
It's really good.
Have you seen the movie?
Yeah.
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 I do. It's great, that movie. Great movie.
What is it called again?
The Da Vinci Code, is it?
Imitation Game.
The Da Vinci Code!
It's not usually Georgie.
Coming up on that one. This isn't going to be right. This is not the right.
It's not usually Georgie. So
oh dear, sorry.
We caught
it was code, and I just thought, coding.
I thought you were like the Enigma.
No, that's what I was. I just said the wrong thing entirely.
Yeah, the imitation. I'm surprised I remembered it. To be fair.
Yeah. To be honest, I was hoping I'd open my mouth and the right thing would come out. I don't know why I thought that would. Oh dear.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Laura said it.
Whatever Laura said, that's what it's called. Oh, it's a good film.
That was funny.
So I think from that we've basically all agreed that actually rediscovering history things is actually the best idea. It's not been much of a debate, has it?
No. No.
Would you like to put forth your argument from space?
Well, it's essentially the same as history. It's just I would like to be there when they discovered, Pluto. And they discovered that, like, the Earth went round the sun, not the other way around. Like those kind of... I'd like to be there when they...
You mean the Earth round the sun one took, like, a long time to, like...
It took a long time.
For them to actually agree on, so I don't feel like there would have been one key moment. It took a long time.
No, but, like, if you were just, like... If you were just chilling with, what's his name? My brain is gone. And then, like, you guys discovered it together. Galileo, yeah. If you were just chilling with him. And then he was like,
Eureka, Eureka moment, almost.
Yeah.
Honestly,
so cool.
That would be cool.
But no, I agree, like, the history, like, physical history as well. Very cool.
Very, very,
very, very cool. Yeah.
Very cool.
Nice. I think that kind of ends, therefore, the episode for now.
Thanks for joining us for our first ever episode. This was fun.
Yeah, thanks everyone for listening for our episodes. Each week we'll have a different topic. So next week, hold on, the topic will be... Hold on, let me look at what we recorded.
I think it was food.
Talking about food with...
Me.
Heather. I'm so glad you knew you were doing that, because I forgot. Excellent. Cool. So yeah.
Lovely. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to follow us on social media, we do have an Instagram. We are at rejectedagain_podcast. We also have a TikTok at rejectedagain.pod. Please do check them out. Hopefully there's loads of lovely stuff for you to check out. We are in the process of getting things sorted, but yeah, hopefully there should be some nice stuff on there for you to have a look at. Have a little look at.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for listening. Until next week. Bye.
Bye.